From housing to transportation to food, where in the world can you live comfortably for $1,500 a month? We have a mix for you of capital cities and smaller cities spread out on several different continents. Here are our top cities to live in for under $1,500 in 2025. I'm Josh with Expats Everywhere.
And I'm Kalie. We start our list in South America in the beautiful city of Medellin. Known as the city of eternal spring, it's possible to rent a one-bedroom apartment here in the city center for between $500 to $800. If you're looking for something cheaper, then move outside of the center and the price drops to as low as $200 to $300.
Then consider basic utilities to cost around $60 and the internet around $30. Your monthly grocery bill will obviously vary depending on what you purchase, but you can budget between $200 and $300. Dining out is extremely affordable with a meal at an inexpensive restaurant costing around $6 and a three-course meal for two at a mid-range restaurant for around $24.
Public transportation is around $30 for a monthly pass. And then of course you'll want to consider what your entertainment budget will be. But even if you look on the high end, it's going to be around $150 to $200 a month. You can see that your overall cost of living here in Medellin is extremely doable on $1,500.
Next, we jump over to Asia, where Ho Chi Minh City has made our list. Maybe you've heard of it by its former name, Saigon, but in the 1970s, they changed it from Saigon to Ho Chi Minh City. You could actually live a very comfortable lifestyle here with well under $1,500, and that includes enjoying all of the lively activities going on around the city.
It's possible to rent a one-bedroom apartment in the center of the city for around $500, and then dropping to $300 when you move outside of the center. Basic utilities will be around $80 and internet around $30.
For groceries, you can budget around $200, but the amazing food prices come when you eat out. You're able to find street food or local cuisine for a couple of bucks. But if you want to go for something a bit more mid-range, you can expect to pay around $25 for two for a three-course meal.
Public transportation is around $10 monthly, and then plan to spend around $100 to $200 on entertainment. So when you break down these essential monthly costs, it's clear that you could have a great life with $1,500.
Next on our list, we're going back to South America, but instead of Colombia, we're going to Brazil. The city of Curitiba is known for a high quality of life. It's possible to find a nice one-bedroom apartment in the city center for $300 to $400, but if you're looking for something cheaper and not as central, the price can drop to $200 to $300.
Basic utilities are around $100 and internet is around $15 to $20. You don't need more than $200 in your monthly grocery budget, but then you might want more in your dining out budget.
There are, of course, inexpensive restaurants to go for around $5, but then a mid-range restaurant for two for a three-course meal will be around $25. If you want to get a monthly pass for public transportation, it will be around $35.
You can comfortably have an entertainment budget of around $150 and enjoy a wide variety of activities. So if you've ever thought of living in Brazil, Curitiba is the city to look into, especially because it's known to have lower crime rates compared to other Brazilian cities.
If you're new here, you likely don't know that Kalie and I live in Porto, Portugal. We talk a lot about Portugal on this channel, and one thing that we've shared a lot about recently is learning Portuguese. We believe learning the language of the country that you're living in or going to be living in is really valuable. It helps you connect with locals, understand your surroundings better, and it even helps you save money from the dreaded foreigner tax. This video's sponsor is italki, a language learning platform where you can have one-on-one customized language lessons with over 30,000 native speaking teachers to learn from. italki is great because you focus on speaking and listening. I've noticed that it's really important for me while we travel outside of Portugal to engage in some lessons on italki so that I'm still connected to Portuguese.
Quando ela tinha 9 meses, fomos no Portugal. Sim.
Então fomos
para
Portugal.
Os preposições.
With over 150 languages to choose from, you can schedule a one-on-one lesson with a teacher that you choose. The best thing about italki is that you pay per lesson. There's no subscription, no commitment, and lessons are priced from only $5. If you'd like to try italki and get $5 free when you load $10 into your account, use the code expats2025. With 15 bucks in your account, you should be able to find a trial lesson or two to see if you like it or if the italki teacher is a right fit for you. Info in the description. So sign up now, as these discounts are only available for the first 50 users. Now, I know that I've mentioned us living in Europe, and we'll get to Europe in a minute, as there are still cities that you can live in for under $1,500. But before touching on those, we're gonna head back over to Asia and feature the bustling city of Jakarta.
If you enjoy warmer weather and a hectic but diverse city, Jakarta has affordable prices, such as $450 a month for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center, or around $200 to $300 outside of the city center.
Basic utilities are around $80 and internet around $30. Groceries will be around $250 to $300, but you can find yourself eating out at a local restaurant for as little as $3 to $4. If you're looking into a mid-range restaurant with a 3-course meal for 2, then expect to pay around $25.
A monthly pass for public transportation is around $10, and your entertainment budget will vary depending on what you want to do, but it's safe to budget around $150 to $200 for a lot of options.
Now we're getting to Europe, where we find ourselves in Batumi, Georgia. Georgia has a few affordable cities to think about if you want to be in Europe, but we want to highlight Batumi, known as the Las Vegas of the Black Sea, because of its modern skyscrapers, casinos, and picturesque coastline.
It's possible to find a one-bedroom apartment in the city center for around $550 to $600, and then dropping to about $400 outside of the center. Basic utilities will cost around $60 and internet around $10.
It's best to budget around $350 for groceries, and your dining out bill might be a little more than others that we've already mentioned on this list. For example, an inexpensive restaurant will cost you around $8 to $10, and a 3-course meal at a mid-range restaurant will be around $35.
Getting a monthly pass for public transportation can be quite cheap here at around $13, and a comfortable entertainment budget would be around $150.
All right, let's feature a different continent and head over to Africa, where we have 2 affordable options for you. First is Nairobi, a very green and sunny location with an incredible national park for safaris and wildlife sightings.
You can find a one-bedroom apartment for around $250, but some opt for a higher budget here in order to have a larger and more secure house. So your housing budget can be very low if you would like, or it can increase to find something more comfortable. Even if you were to double this amount though, it's still very affordable housing.
Basic utilities will be around $40 and internet around $30. A good grocery budget is around $250 to $300. It is possible to eat out at an inexpensive restaurant for around $3 to $4, but a 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant will cost you around $30.
A monthly public transportation pass is around $30, and it's very doable to have an entertainment budget for around $100.
Staying in Africa, we move from Kenya to Ghana, where Accra is on our list. This coastal capital has beautiful beaches along the Atlantic to explore.
A one-bedroom apartment is just a little more than Nairobi, being around $300. Basic utilities are around $70 and internet around $20.
A realistic grocery budget is around $150 to $200 a month, and it's possible to catch a meal at an inexpensive restaurant for around $3 to $4. For a 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant, it's quite cheap and will cost you around $15.
For monthly public transportation, budget around $35 and $100 for entertainment.
Let's head back over to South America, and don't worry, we do have a North American city on this list, along with a couple other European cities we'll get to, but for now, Buenos Aires, the birthplace of tango, is up next.
It might surprise you that you can find a one-bedroom apartment in the city center for around $400 a month, and then of course that price will drop if you move outside of the center. Basic utilities will be around $60 and internet around $30.
Your grocery bill will vary depending on what you buy, but having around $200 to $300 set aside should be sufficient. You might not be able to eat out for as cheap as the African cities we just mentioned, but plan around $10 at an inexpensive restaurant and $40 for a 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant.
A monthly transportation pass is around $15 and budget around $150 to $200 for entertainment. So this option might be a little more than other locations around the world, but you get to live in a capital city with lots going on.
Speaking of a capital city, let's head back to Asia one more time and take a look at the affordability of Kuala Lumpur. Maybe you're familiar with the famous Petronas Twin Towers found here.
Housing prices will vary depending on what part of the city you choose, but you can comfortably budget $500 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. You'll be able to find something for cheaper if you're looking to keep the costs down.
Basic utilities will be around $60 and internet around $30. Your grocery bill will be around $200 to $300, and expect to find very affordable food options for dining out.
It's possible to grab a meal at an inexpensive restaurant for around $3 and a 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant for around $20. A monthly pass on public transportation will cost you around $30, and overall you can have an entertainment budget for around $150.
Let's give you 2 more European options, starting with Skopje, the birthplace of Mother Teresa. You can find a 1-bedroom apartment for rent in the city center for around $350, and then around $250 if you move out of the city center.
Basic utilities are on the higher end compared to some of the other cities in this list, so expect to pay around $130 for those, and then around $20 for internet. Groceries will be around $300 to $350, and you can eat out at an inexpensive restaurant for around $7 to $8. A 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant will be around $25.
A monthly public transportation pass will cost around $25, and entertainment will vary, but around $100 will allow you to do a lot.
Before we give you our last European city, we want to throw out a couple honorable mentions. Bogota, Colombia is another one that could have been on our list, along with Hanoi, Vietnam.
But now let's break down our final European city, which is Wrocław. Wrocław has over 600 small bronze dwarf statues scattered throughout the city. Why? They're a symbol of the city's resilience and a sense of humor. Now this one is doable on $1,500, but you'll be using up every bit of that compared to having quite a buffer in some of the other cities that we mentioned.
Rent will be around $800 to $900 for a central 1-bedroom apartment. Basic utilities will be around $250 and internet around $20.
Budget around $250 for groceries, and then if you want to eat out at an inexpensive restaurant, it will be around $10. A 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant will be around $50. So be smart with your dining out budget.
A monthly transportation cost is a little under $50, and for entertainment, plan for around $150. So as you can see, you'll need to track your finances here to make sure you stay under your $1,500 goal.
Lastly, we go to North America to feature Mérida, Mexico, a city with rich cultural heritage and architecture, but also known for its safety. It's possible to find a 1-bedroom apartment in the city center for around $350, but then the price drops to around $250 if you go out of the city center.
Basic utilities will cost you around $100 and internet around $20. Groceries will be around $150 to $250, and you can eat at an inexpensive restaurant for around $8. A 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-scale restaurant will be around $30.
A monthly public transportation pass is around $60, and for an entertainment budget, plan for around $100 to $150.
So that's our list. What's yours? Don't forget to get your italki credit using our promo Expats 2025. The link is in the description below. And if you like content like this, then watch this video right here. Now, let's get moving.